Hi everyone, my name's Demara and I'm going to be reading you Truth Testament number 2 from the Earthchanges channelings that I received during the last 12 months. But each day now I've been drawing a starseed oracle to help us along our way on this journey of evolvement and bringing through our new world that's one of peace, love and equality. And I've had this card come up yesterday, which was Loosen Your Grip, which I talked about somewhat on the video that I did yesterday, but it's come up before recently as well. So there's already 2 videos talking about this, talking about letting go of addictions, letting go of all other coping mechanisms, because addictions are just coping mechanisms. They are ways that your body uses to cover up who you really are. Things like drugs, alcohol, food, gambling. They're a part of you that gets allowed to run, if you allow it to run away with you. It runs off on its own route to get drunk, to get high, to get into excitement of gambling. And none of these are going to take you to your desired life. So this is the card that came up. But today, oh my goodness, it came up again, which is 2 days running. And I thought I have to shovel these cards 7 times and then get the card. And this one is cracked open. And I thought I need to talk about this because some people, when they stop the addictions, need to go through the process, the right process, because this is when you're cracked open. And when people go through this, you need to do all the right things. You need to have a safe place to do it too. And I know a couple of people recently who've gone through it without going into rehab. And what they've done is they've been in a safe house where somebody's going to know what they're going through and take care of them. And you can do that. But you need to tell that person to trust the process too, as well as telling yourself to trust the process. And after you come out of that, there is a lot of, especially with the alcohol one, where you need to start getting your brain back into a balance. And there are a lot of nutritional supplements. And what I will say here is there's a lot of guidance on that on the internet, and things like not being able to sleep because you've always slept when you've been drunk, and there's a lot of things to own up to here and to understand that your body does not go back into perfect balance right away, but it is possible to do it. And it's a wonderful journey when you do. And a lot of nutritional, like I said, supplements afterwards. If you're used to being addicted to drugs and alcohol, both of them give you an extreme yin. Okay, so what you've been used to is the extreme yin of illusion and deceitfulness to your higher self. So when you stop, not only do you need the specific nutritional supplements which start to balance and heal the brain and heal a lot of processes in your body, including your sleep, but you also need to heal the yin and yang balance. And what you don't need to do is start eating lots of meat, which is very yang, because having been used to extreme yin, it's going to really take you into deep depression. And a lot of people do this when they just stop the alcohol and don't realize what's happening to their body. So in order to keep that better balance, if you want to carry on eating really solid food like that, then go to fish. Go to fish and chicken. They're much less yang. But if you want to do it properly and easily, go on to a vegetarian diet, because the vegetarian diet is more in the middle. And don't put in a lot of sugar, because you may start to be yearning for the sugar to keep the high, but it's delusional. So don't do it. That's just a little bit of advice on that. And on this cracked open card, I'm just trying to see it without my magnifying glass, but I can't. it's what takes you to rock bottom, okay? But it's the bottom from where you can start the right journey back. You know, when you get rock bottom and you've been cracked open, that's the point where you are surrendering to the alchemy of life. And in the little book that came with that card, it actually says here, how can you let life crack you open? Well, you get cracked open by stopping all the things that are doing you harm. And it's not only substances. We keep around groups of people that help us carry on the addictions. And the interesting thing about that is the one major movement that successful alcoholics make and people on drugs is to change the company they keep. Just remember that one. Write it out for yourself, you know, and that can even include family sometimes, because sometimes it's not only the fact that these people drink with us. It may be that you have a certain group of negative family members who are always gossiping, telling lies about people, or committing wrongful acts, being deceitful in their lives and harming other people, just because they are very low frequency. And you really do need to change that company as well, because they are not part of your soul family if you're wanting to grow and be totally happy and harmonious and in a love vibration. And I really felt like this needed to be said, because I could not believe it when that card came up again, loosen your grip. And I was thinking, because of all the astrological events that have gone on this year so far, it's been a crazy year. And they've been so strong and powerful because they're coming in to clear the old. Make no mistake about this. This is meant to be. Everything has to be cleaned up so that the higher vibration does not destroy whatever that is when it really gets to that high level, because it will. So if you don't clear up and clean up now, then you're in for a very, very tough ride. And what I understand from what the divine has told me, the higher beings have told me through the channelings over all these years, is that we need everyone that is supposed to be awake in a major position to be awake. We have missing links in the chain. I know myself right now that there is somebody who is supposed to be partnering me on the journey, and they are not ready to do that. And okay, I am being given enormous support to put out these channelings, to have the strength, the energy, and the cheek of it to put these out when a lot of people don't want to hear what I have to say. And I'm going to carry on right till the end. You can be sure of that. But this is the whole thing about it. There are people out there waiting for other members of their group to appear. Sometimes it's the leader of the group that hasn't appeared yet, you know. There are links in the chain missing. There's like this 144,000 starseeds who will awaken many, many more people. I'm getting incredible energies traveling up and down my spine as I say that. 144,000. This was always deemed to be correct, a prophecy, and it is. And there are many links in the chain not standing upright right now. So just so that people understand these messages that are coming out, not just from me, from lots of other people now, we're daring to put the truth out there. And for us, it really isn't a dare, but in society's eyes, it is. I have people say that to me. You're very daring. I'm not really. I feel so solid on my blueprint, on my mission. I know this is the right thing for me to do, and I will carry on completely. So right now we're in an emergency situation with a lot of people still hanging on for dear life, clinging on to the old and not willing to let go. And as soon as you let go, the universe steps in. Your path just appears. But you don't know that until you've jumped without the parachute. Come on, all you so-called adventurers out there who say they're adventurers and have done lots of things in their lives. But when it comes to this real adventure, the only one that's important, a lot of people are hanging on. They're hanging on to the size of their business. I know there's a lot of new age businesses out there, and they hang on to the money making. They hang on to the size of the business and their posh clothes and all of this. This is not a time for that. This is a time to jump off the huge multimillionaire businesses too. Start giving it out to those people who are so poor they cannot even think about their divine journey because they don't have food in their mouths. And I know that a lot of these new age leaders talk about how they feed this amount of people and they feed that. They're still sitting with multi-million pounds in their houses. And sometimes they have 3 or 4 houses that they can go to. You only need one house for this last part of the journey, because you're not going to be in it very often. You're going to be out there fighting for the human collective in the spiritual way, not with weapons of war, but with weapons of peace, which means giving away all of your knowledge free if you have to. And there'll come a time where we all need to do that totally. I mean, at the moment, some of us are just making the meal to put in our bodies every day and are not chasing that money. We're chasing the truth. And we're fielding the truth out there. So right now, these people who are being cracked open need your help. And a lot of them who've spent all their money on alcohol and drugs and are on the streets, they don't have the money to pay hundreds of pounds for your courses. Get out there and find them. This is what I'm saying, and I know that what I'm heading towards now is funding a foundation that will only be for that. This foundation will be alive for these years coming so that we can gather up everyone who needs to be gathered up and given that right to let the divine in because they can hear the knowledge they need to hear. That's my bit of holy preaching for the day. I'm going to read to you now. But do you know something? I never thought of doing this when I got up this morning. What happened to me was I drew these cards. I was given these cards. And the cracked open one is like, oh my goodness, we need to talk about this, guys. And we have. So this is going back now to Truth Testament number 2. And this one was given, like August last year, August or the beginning of September. And it was at the time when I took back the request from the divine that I needed to start channeling again. And I needed to be channeling every few days again, or at least once a week or whatever. And I hadn't channeled large pieces for quite a while. I had done the 2 main books in 1991, 1992. And so this is quite a short one. This is when they're training me again to be able to just receive exactly what they said. And the pieces got longer and longer in those first months last year, from August, September, October. But this was number 2. So as I said, it's quite short, but it's very important. Being in conversation with us is being in a sphere of influence. It is a sphere of influence because we have an energy that surpasses that which you have in your daily life. We have to migrate down the levels in order to make sure that we can converse easily with you. We are at a loss to see that many, many star-seeded ones. Oh my goodness, I had not realized, I had not read any of this. Again, every time I do a little chat to you beforehand, it comes up in can't believe this again. Okay, I'm just going to go back there. We are at a loss to see that many, many star-seeded ones are not on their rightful blueprints. They have made their blueprints into professions, which is not why they accepted the blueprints in the first place. You are not here just to make a living. You are here to become who you really are and make sure that others do this also. We have to make adjustments to many of these blueprints in order to bring them back into line. It is not easy without ejecting them completely from their missions. We are not used to having to do this sort of thing. It is only in this last decade that people have made spirituality a profession, not the walk of their lives. It is odd, but acceptable on your planet Earth. It is odd because in past history it has always been a humbling experience to be one of those who helps others and does so in a way that does not involve the ego. Now the ego is part of the parade, part of the evolution for those who become the object of interest rather than the cause at hand. The cause is humanity and its evolvement on the planet, not the evolvement of a profession that makes you rich. We have other explanations for being really rich. These will not fit into your mainstream idea of that. When you leave this planet and look back at what illusions you were taken in by and how much you sacrificed of your real missions, you will regret your blinkered eyes, hearts, minds, and lives. Isn't that a beautiful line there? I just love that. How much you sacrificed of your real missions, you will regret your blinkered eyes, hearts, minds, and lives. I think that's a really fantastic affirmation there. I will not blinker my eyes, my heart, my mind, and my life. I will live out my real mission. That's a really important energy on that about us. And I really had not checked. I have these on a laptop, which I just, when I open it up, I see the title. And then as I begin to speak, I'm just going up and down on this text. And I had no idea it was about this profession thing again. And I thought, it came up in a message I read recently as well, one of the Truth Testaments, and these are not in order. They're not in number order at all. So they really are trying to get this across, and it's come to my mind, I must admit, and through personal experiences I've been having, that this is what has happened. And we need to be fed, we need to be housed, we need to be happy in ourselves. But you have a look around you and see how, for a lot of people, there's a huge goal here on the money side of things. And it's they may say to you that they give to this charity and they give to that charity. That's not the point. What you have to look at is you have to look at something I tried to put out recently in a small short, and I will go deeper into this, but it's have a look at the actual figures of your human collective. We are responsible for the collective because we play a part, an energy part in that. And if there's any one person who has not got food in their belly, we are responsible. Every one of us is responsible for that. So if you have access to extra, then you give it to the human collective. There should be no discrimination whatsoever. Be it, we could use the topical issue of our times, a Palestinian or an Israeli, it would not matter. There is no discrimination when you are on your divine mission and you are in your higher self. And there should be, if you are still arguing the toss over that, you are talking to people about which side you support, then you are not in your divine self. And you are not coming from that higher energy frequency, for sure, because there is no discrimination. We are a human collective. We are as strong as the weakest member of that collective. And the majority of our collective is weak right now. That's the crazy thing. And I tried to put that over in the short. Maybe somebody else will come forward with more precise information, because it's really hard to get the up-to-date information on that without spending a lot of time down that rabbit hole. But the figures are incredible. And you will see some of it on that short. And it's something like, wasn't it something like 75% don't have, I can't believe that it could be, but maybe it was, 75% don't have access to clean drinking water. I mean, I can't believe that it is, but it's got stuck in my head that it is that. But there's certainly that 1% owns and has access to, and removes this access from all other, has access to 46% of the resources, which is crazy, isn't it? So the 54% has access to, I'm trying to work that out. I can't even, no, I shouldn't go into this maths when I'm talking online here. But I will do it, because I think this is what's holding people back. They are under illusion. They do have, indeed, the blinkered eyes. If you are hoarding money, and you know there are people in your collective, in your family, because this is our family, the human collective, if they are hungry, then you need to get that money out of the account now and feed them. If it's excess to what you will need to complete your mission. I'm going to leave it there. I think there's just one thing, just one more thing. Just think about this, that people still talk about generational wealth and handing it down. There is not going to be any of that ever again. Think about it. We're working towards the new world. You either believe this or you don't. There's no need of generational wealth. Stop putting that out there. I've heard people that I really thought were awake say this recently. There's no need to do that. We are taking care of the people alive on the planet right now in order to move it to the next level. We do not need generational wealth, because the generational wealth will be within and in charge of and run by the human collective, not individuals, because there will be no hoarding of anything. Food, energy, resources, money, none of it. I'm going to leave on that point. Please support the channel by subscribing if you dare, and please give us a like if you actually enjoy the fact that I'm actually trying to wake you up to the truth of your mission. I'm not here to be detrimental with anybody, but sometimes it takes a tough conversation, and this is one of those tough conversations that I'm having with the human collective that dares to have a look at my channel. Thank you for allowing me into your sacred space today, and thank you for listening.